Everyone, and welcome back to this channel. And today I'm going to give you the best Cowrywise Stash info. Now, I want to look at the recent stash update regarding emergencies and highlight the best way to maximize your stash. Now, it is important for you to know that Cowrywise does not operate the same way as your bank or payment provider, and so they can't serve the same purpose of making quick withdrawals. Ultimately, because you are building wealth and you have a long-term mindset, your investment account shouldn't be used to fund emergencies unless as a last resort. Now, the Emergency Savings Fund is an investment plan built for emergencies you can plan for that aren't extremely critical and that you can afford to wait 24 hours for. You are most likely wondering what kind of emergencies can be planned for. So let's look at them. We're going to start with Emergency Savings Fund having certain advantages. It puts your mind at ease, builds financial discipline, and reduces financial burdens. To understand this emergency savings fund properly, why it was built, and the best way to maximize it, we need to look at emergencies from two perspectives. The first being using your stash for emergencies. Now, Cowrywise has noticed that a number of customers use Stash to hold monies that they need to access quickly, and that is not what Stash is for. Stash isn't a bank account or a substitute for one. It is a funding channel that top up your plans. It helps you top up your plans and receive payouts from investments and or matured savings. It is also not a payment account. Stash is not the ideal product for making payments, keeping funds for emergencies, or making quick withdrawals. And it has a 24-hour processing period, so it is not advisable to keep emergency funds in Stash. This isn't what Stash was built for, as I said earlier. As such, you're advised to keep your funds in your regular bank account if they are for quick emergency or quick access. Now, savings, this is another we're going to look at, using Stash savings and emergency plan. You see, the concept of an emergency means different things to different people. An emergency could be anything from paying high-priority medical bills to purchasing household supplies, groceries, or feeding. It could even be sorting out quick financial obligations. An emergency to one person may not be an emergency to another, but an emergency is an emergency regardless. Now, the second use, which is savings in an emergency fund, forms the basis of this guide. Now, why was the emergency fund built? In 2018, when Cowrywise launched Emergency Savings Fund, it was designed to help you face unpleasant financial surprises. As such, it was important they defined the concept of emergencies they were building for, and the definition still holds true now as it did then. From a quote from the 2018 article they wrote, that is Cowrywise wrote, they said that one can define an emergency savings fund as a big brother you run to when there's a serious financial issue beyond your immediate control. It is a stash of funds that should be built over time and not one that is tampered with within short intervals. So it is important to establish and validate the ideal use case. What kind of emergency can you plan for within the context of what investment companies do, as well as the socio-cultural contents of emergencies? So what we're trying to say, emergency funds come in handy when faced with job loss, health emergencies, So what are we saying? What we're saying is that emergency funds come in handy when faced with job loss, health emergencies, natural disasters, and stuff like that. So you should work towards gathering up an amount that can cater to your living expenses for 6 months in case you run into an emergency that blocks your income flow for 6 months. From research done, the most prominent financial emergencies include medical emergencies, job loss, or disasters. For example, according to Reuters, around 20% of Nigerians lost their jobs during COVID-19 in 2020. On a yearly basis, there are numerous flooding disasters that affect major towns and cities, and life-threatening medical emergencies are commonplace. But there's one thing these emergencies have in common. Emergencies of this nature have the potential to greatly disrupt your finances. This means monies in an emergency savings fund are ideally a lifeline when all other streams of income have been exhausted due to an emergency. In short, your emergency savings fund is actually the fund you need when other emergencies money runs out, which means you're in a position to plan accordingly. So for individuals building wealth, remember, all funds are invested, including emergency funds. It is important your investments are not tampered with except when absolutely necessary. Remember, money in these emergency savings funds are not to be tampered with within short intervals, especially since they are being invested, with what I said earlier. For example, if you lose a job, you most likely have some savings in a regular bank account that can keep you afloat, pending when you get another one. Based on the content of the emergency savings fund and the way it was built, you have the leeway to make a withdrawal from your emergency savings fund when your current cash flow is depleted. Remember, the idea is to not tamper with any of your investments unless you have to. The same scenario applies to medical emergencies or disasters. So, next video, we're going to look at the principle for emergency savings fund, how it works, and how you can maximize it. Hope to see you in the next one.